All right, welcome everybody to Lower Trestles. I am Chris Mauro here with Coach Ian Cairns and Nike 6.0 Lowers Pro just wrapping up. And Ian, if I would have told you at the start of this thing that Gabe Kling was going to beat Chris Davidson in the final, given the field that we had here at Lower Trestles, what would you have said?
Oh, you're smoking marijuana. No way. No, I coach Gabe. He's a great surfer. He's had a really tough run. But this was, with both of these surfers, was the re-emergence of carve flow power.
And there's been so much talk of the new judging criteria and these giant moves scoring well, and they are scoring well, and they were scoring well this week, but it's great to see that the fundamentals aren't gone.
No, the fundamentals absolutely are not gone, and we're going to see the re-emergence for sure on the World Tour at J-Bay and at Chopu, but this was evidence that the scoring criteria allows for both of those two elements to be, you can get nines by carving and by doing airs.
Let's talk about the significance of a prime event. This was a huge event. 36 of the world's top 45 were here. A lot of points at stake. Your take?
Well, first place is equal to a third place on the World Tour. And the whole qualification thing is kind of freaking people out. So they know that primes are super important. That's why 36 of the World Tour surfers were here, because they need these results.
If you're not a guy in the hunt for a world title, it seems to me like there is now 19 tour events instead of 10.
And I think that's good.
Yeah.
And it is true, because everyone has pressure to requalify, particularly going into 2011. So these prime events have raised in stature, and that's really, really good for American surfing. It's good for the sponsors. Nike gets more credit and more prestige for this event. Everything improves with this new change in the ASP system.
A couple of guys we were really looking forward to seeing here at Lower Trestles. One of them, Jadson Andre, right off of his Brazilian win. Did he show people what he was all about here at Lower Trestles?
That gigantic aerial on the left-hander was just amazing. But the thing that really stoked me out was the 9-point wave that he had on his backside with no airs, just carving. And it was really just a demonstration that Jadson is not a one-trick pony.
Which is what everybody was saying after he won. They're like, hey, we'll see if he can do it.
Do not underestimate these guys. We've seen Adriano raise his game. We've seen Jadson improve dramatically. These kids have incredible talent, and they have will and drive to succeed. And we're going to see. So I was talking to Jadson, what about J-Bay and what about Chopu? And he said, everyone's saying I can't surf that, but me, I know I can. And he says, you wait and see. I love the pressure.
Another guy, listen, Dane Reynolds is here, just lit things up in one round. Typical Dane. The next round kind of disappears. Dane's last couple losses have come to young guys doing incredible aerial moves.
Yes, and everyone thinks that Dane's all about aerials, and yes, they're amazing, but he is one of the best traditional fundamental surfers on the tour, with carve and flow and the speed he generates. The speed he generates from carving is what gives him the big aerials. So the thing that's been Dane's weakness is his competitive skills, but he tried to fight back in that heat, and he got waves.
He was close.
Almost made it.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, absolutely. To see Dane actually trying to win a heat, trying to grind one out the old-fashioned way.
Is amazing, because if he competes a little bit with his ability, he's going to become an amazing potential world champion.
Another guy that was so good to see here was Andy Irons. Andy looked a little lost earlier this year, like he's sort of looking for that motivation, but it wasn't really there. I saw a spark here. What did you see?
Way more than a spark. I saw him at Snapper, and I was going, oh man, he might not be at Bill's. When he came to Bill's, he was much better. By the time he got to Brazil, he was almost Andy Irons. And here at Trestles, we saw Andy Irons re-emerge. And I think that he's going to be a potential winner either at J-Bay or Chopu.
That's a bold call.
Yeah, I think he's back.
Yeah, that's good. That'd be great to see, I'm sure. A guy like Jordy Smith will have something to say about that. Jordy, I mean, what is the difference between this year and last year? Jordy has become a machine all of a sudden.
Well, he was struggling with competing. I don't think he had confidence, but he's catching more waves. He's not falling off. He is starting to pull huge moves. His confidence is just overflowing, and that kind of confidence, I think, puts him in contention for the world title this year.
You really think like the mental toughness, he could actually battle it out with the Kelly
mate,
Slater?
that guy is so confident. I hate the word ego, but he's got a lot of, and great athletes need to have that.
Yeah.
And I think he can get better and better. Next event, J-Bay, South African, tons of experience there, amazing surfer. Chopu, there's a question mark there, but he surfs so well here, I think he's a favorite for Tressel's World Tour event.
Right. The other guys that really impressed me, and this is the other beautiful part about the Prime events, the younger guys behind Jadson and these guys, John Florence, Kalohe Andino. John Florence put on quite a show here, beat Andy Irons in an earlier heat, Dane Reynolds knocked him out. I mean, your take.
John Florence murdered Pipeline, scored a 10. Incredible surfer in powerful waves. My question mark was, can he surf smaller California style waves? That's answered. He's done huge airs, and then he links them together with carving moves, finishes off complete waves. The guy's a very, very talented surfer and very complete. Super mature for just 17. Kalohe Andino has the huge aerial moves, and he's got good style, but he doesn't have the power. And that's something that John has got over Kalohe. I think Kalohe needs more time to actually grow in power. He doesn't have the kind of experience in gnarly waves that John has. So those two surfers are going to be fighting it out for years to come. But I'd be very surprised if we didn't see John on the World Tour sometime in 2011.
That would be amazing. And wouldn't it be amazing if John was on tour and Slater was still there?
Well, I mean, what's the age difference? I mean, 20 years? I mean,
could be his son, right? I mean, come on. That's crazy. And Kelly Slater now, look, the guy's back in the tour lead. Is a 10th world title his to lose at this stage?
I would be putting my money on Kelly to win the 10th world title. He's adjusted to the criteria. He seems focused. He's already got a couple of wins. These next two events are perhaps his strongest events. J-Bay and Chopu, particularly Chopu. Chopu, the guy is the best surfer ever at Chopu. So I think the only guy at this point that may challenge is Geordie.
But J-Bay, your pick, 2 months away, got a lot of time between now and then. Who's your take? Give it to me.
Look, I'm calling for Andy Irons to make a dramatic comeback and win J-Bay.
Wow, that's a bold call. I think a lot of people would love to see that, see Andy Irons get in the mix, and imagine what kind of race we could have on our hands.
Well, that's not a sentimental story. It's the re-emergence of Andy Irons, the great surfer.
Right. Interesting. Well, it'll be fun to watch when we will be here to bring it to you. For Ian Cairns, I am Chris Morrow, and we will see you next time.